So today I'm back and I want to talk to you about STAR reports and accelerated reader and how we're giving our students an opportunity to read even though right now our school library is closed. So I'm going to start first of all with this particular report. And this report should be coming home soon. Either you've already seen it or it will be coming home soon for second grade through sixth grade. Possibly for some first graders if they read high enough for the STAR test to actually calculate their score. A lot of times, first graders do not have a good accurate reading until about mid year. But this report helps us know about where your child is reading. And I want to point out a few interesting things on this report. First of all, this is a sample report for Jane Smith. Your report will come customized for your child. It will have your child's scores and some information about your child in particular. So if you'll look with me at this one, you're going to see first of all, this will have a score at the top. This particular sample student, it shows here, was in the 48th percentile rank. And you can see that's kind of right in the middle of this particular grade level. So one thing to look for if you get this or when you get this, if your child is over in this area, they're probably reading above grade level right now. And if your child was over in this area, they're probably reading below grade level right now. Just something to notice. And of course, watch this year because as you get new reports, you're going to want to see how your child is improving this year. Secondly, you're going to see a scale score. The scale score is just going to give us a number between 0 and 1400 as far as based on the difficulty of the questions and the number of correct responses your child gets. Something interesting about the STAR test, as your child goes through reading various passages and answering questions, if they miss a few in a row, then it changes course a bit and takes them for an easier course if they're struggling, so that we can accurately see where they are reading at without having too much difficulty. And if they're doing very well, it's going to bump up their questions, and their questions will get harder as they go along. So it's a very accurate measurement for just how well your child can read and comprehend. Second number that we see there is the percentile rank, and this just tells you how your child places among students at that same grade level. So at the 48th percentile rank, that's just saying that Jane's skills are higher than 48% of the students nationally in that same grade. We're not talking about just here at our school or in our district, but nationally. So it gives you a good indicator of where your child is reading. Next, probably one of the most important, or I think most valuable scores for us, this one is the grade equivalent score. This one is going to give us a more identifiable number. You can see here this is a 3.3, and what this means is third grade, third month. So if a child at the beginning of the school year, the beginning of third grade year, is reading at 3.3, they're just slightly maybe ahead of grade level, because typically the first month is third grade 3.1, first month. So your number there, if it's 4.6, would be fourth grade, sixth month, and that'll give you an idea of how well your child's reading. Now, the independent reading level or instructional reading level, this is a number that's going to tell us just how well your child can actually proficiently read and comprehend reading materials. So what can they read at and still fully understand everything they are reading and be successful at? And that's their instructional level. The last thing that we're going to draw attention to, and this is another biggie, this is called the Zone of Proximal Development, the ZPD for short. and many teachers refer to this as a child's reading range. Now, I want to point out that we're not saying that a child can only read between these two numbers. Certainly, there are times that they've been reading a series, and perhaps one book in the series goes a little lower or a little higher, and we make exceptions for that. But for the most part, if we want to see your child experience the most growth as a reader, we want to see them reading between those two levels. If we want to challenge our children, as a parent, if you say, well, I'm not really satisfied with these results and I'd like to see my child reading better, then you definitely want to aim for that higher number. Aim for a 3.9. Have your child read more books in the 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9 range. And of course, as long as a child can still read at, if they can read a book at 4.1 and still make a 100% on their test, then obviously that's, it could be a matter of interest. It's a story that's interesting to them. And so, again, teachers will make exceptions for certain books if it's something that a child truly wants to read. But ideally, we want to see students reading between these two numbers because that's going to be the area where we see the most growth.